Well, now let's work with adding polynomials, which is really just combining like terms. Now, over on page 466 in your textbook, it talks about using either a vertical or a horizontal method. And I prefer using, well, many times I do, not always, but many times I prefer using the vertical method, particularly when I'm given two polynomials that are not given to me or they're both in standard form. So now a lot of times I'll use the horizontal method, but my suggestion is that you work really with the vertical method first until you get a good feel for it, and then maybe you can proceed to a horizontal where you don't have to basically rewrite the expressions. So here we've got 5x squared minus 3x plus 4, and we're asked to add to that 6x minus 3x squared minus 3. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, my first, the 5x squared minus 3x plus 4 is actually in standard form. But my second polynomial, 6x minus 3x squared minus 3, is not in standard form. So let's go ahead and let's begin to rewrite. I'm going to take this first one. I've got 5x squared minus 3x plus 4. And we're going to add to that negative 3x squared plus 6x. Write that a little better. Plus 6x minus 3. Now, we're combining like terms. And so the two terms that are like here to begin with are the x squareds. One's got a coefficient of positive 5. The other one's got a coefficient of negative 3. But 5x squared plus negative 3x squared, if I'm just adding those, I got 5 minus 3. Well, that's going to give me 2x squared. And then we got negative 3x plus 6x, negative 3 plus 6. Well, that's going to be plus 3x. And then we got 4 minus 3. And 4 negative 3 is positive 1. So when we add those, and it seems kind of a little bit, you may get a little bit confused there because we're talking about adding, but we did a lot of subtracting there. And then basically what this means is in this second polynomial, even though we rewrote it, we did not change any of the signs. We added it. In other words, that's almost like distributing a positive 1 to that polynomial. So if I had a positive 1 out here and multiplied it, I wouldn't change any of the signs. Now we're going to hop over here and look at a second example right quick. So let's go. So now here we got y to the 4th minus 3y plus 7. And we're adding to it 2y cubed plus 2y minus 2y to the 4th minus 11. Now, I see something here. In this first polynomial, I got a y to the 4th and I got a y to the 1st. But in my second polynomial, I've got a negative 2y to the 4th, and then I've got 2y cubed, and then I've got y to the 1st. And you notice that I don't have any kind of y cubed in that first polynomial. I do have some constants, a positive 7 and a negative 11. So let's rewrite this, but I want to leave enough room for some of the terms that I'm missing in this case in this first polynomial. So here we got y to the 4th to the 4th, and then minus 3y and plus 7. And we're going to add to that negative 2y to the 4th plus 2y cubed, and then plus 2y, and finally minus 11, or negative 11. So you notice that I inserted that positive 2y cubed because that was the term I've got in this second expression, this second polynomial, that I did not have in the first. So here, let's begin. Then I've got positive y to the fourth minus 2y to the fourth. Well, that's 1 minus 2. That's going to give me a negative 1y to the fourth. And most often I do not write the 1. I just assume that. And I don't have any y cubed in the first expression, but I do in the second. Remember, I'm combining like terms. A y cubed and a y to the fourth are not the same term. And a y cubed and y to the first power is not the same term. So I go plus 2y cubed. Now, I've got a negative 3y and a positive y. Well, negative 3 plus 2 is going to give me a negative, just a negative 1y. And again, I'm not going to write the 1. It's just assumed that it's 1. It's y by itself. And then we got positive 7 minus 11. Let's see, 7 minus 11. I'm adding. I've got terms that are different. I got different signs. One's a negative, one's a positive. I keep the sign of the largest absolute value of that number. In this case, that's 11. And I just subtract the numbers. So 11 minus 7 is 4, negative 4. Negative y to the fourth plus 2y cubed minus y minus 4. We have added these polynomials. Shazam.